nonsense, absolute nonsense, this whole exam and this whole subject. Good morning everyone and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. It is still my exam period. If you haven't watched my previous video, go ahead and watch that one first and then come back to this one. Yesterday I had my second exam and Sunday midnight we have to submit this third exam, which is the most important project. So now I'm heading to meet my group mates and to work on that today with them. I don't know if we are going to work every day until Sunday together. We just want to do it as good as we can these days because we have so much to do and I'm not sure if we can do it all in 5 days. So I hope that in the end we'll manage to do everything we wanted. So we are meeting at this one place that is near our university because it's so hard to work as a group somewhere. We can't work in a library, we can't work in just any cafe because they will just kick us out after some time. So we found this one perfect place. It's called Hummus, I don't know, whatever, and it's next to the campus that is actually next to our university, so we can stay there the whole day and no one will tell us anything, which is so good because we really need something like that as a group. We can always of course sneak into our university and work, but usually now you have to book an appointment, like not appointment but class, so you can only enter with that QR code when you have class, and when you don't then you are basically illegally there. So I guess that's why we don't go there. I don't know why libraries don't have places for groups, and here everything you do is in groups, so weird system. Before I go there, I will first go to pick up my student card that was supposed to be done a few months ago. It's like Italian bank card but provided by our university. Sorry. Okay, that was my alarm to remind me that I have to go or I'll be late. This morning actually, as you could see, I just had breakfast and I prepared lunch to bring with me, and basically that's it. I was in the kitchen for an hour and I just enjoy doing it all slowly. I love cooking, but it's really hard sometimes to cook here in a common kitchen when there is like 10 people around you. So this morning there was no one and I could do it like slowly and nicely. So I'll show you now what I made for lunch. I already showed you this bowl, but now it looks nicer, so I wanted you to see. I put some cherry tomatoes, 1 cooked egg, fried chicken and some rice. And I made too much rice, so I couldn't add some lettuce or something else, so that's it. And on top I put this aceto balsamico made out of raspberries. It's actually like Italian thing, but I brought it from Belgrade, so I guess you can find it anywhere. That's my lunch for today. I'll just fill my bottle now and pack, and I have to go. Okay, fun fact about Venice is that there's a prison near my university. Like, I'm just passing it right now. But when I was passing with my friend yesterday, some prisoners were pounding on a window and it was so scary. So yeah, this is basically the building behind me, and 2 minutes away is IUAV University. Amazing, just so you know. Hello, excuse my stupid hair today. It looks really bad. As you could see, I made this pasta that I ate in previous vlog again. I mean, I usually eat a lot of pasta even before I came to Italy. It's like my favorite food. So basically my life hasn't changed a lot since I came to Italy, except now I can eat pasta every day and no one will judge me here. Of course, I'm trying to eat different types of food, but yeah, usually I eat some vegetables or pasta or rice with something. Now this stupid bun won't stay. Anyways, yesterday when I came home it was already late, so I just continued working, and then again this morning when I woke up. So I guess this is how my following days will look like. And then on Wednesday we are presenting, so then I will show you everything printed. I think it will be included in this vlog because I don't have so much material to show you in this vlog since it's just me studying. And I don't know if I told you that we had economics exam 2 days ago, which I was so stressed about during semester. I've never had it like as a subject before, so this was my first time. Topics were microeconomics and property investment and valuation, so it's not something so hard to understand. And test contained mostly some exercises where you can use formulas, and it was an open book exam, so we could actually use professor's presentation and everything. We had like we could actually look at formulas. Maybe I did some calculations wrong, but in general I can't say that it was hard. And besides the test we also had like group project where we analyzed one project like our own, and then we could choose one of 3 methods he gave us, which like maybe you don't know if you've never done economics also, but we chose analytic hierarchy process. So like, is kitchen more important than garden? Is this more important than that? And like we were doing these calculations like what percentage of which room, for example, is more important than the other. So for that presentation it was maximum 4 points and we got all 4. I mean, these 4 are actually additional points. So if you haven't watched my previous video, I said in Italy grading is from 18 until 30. So for example, if I get 25 on test, I have now 29 because it's like plus these 4 additional. But if I get 30 out of 30, I mean, he can't add more, because I think that he understood that like it's not some of our favorite thing to study or anything, so he gave us many options. In February we could choose like between 4 dates to take an exam, and he was really kind and nice. So I'm really glad that it went well, because I was really stressed because I've never done this, as I said. My pasta is getting cold because I'm talking so much. And also about that first exam I told you in my previous video, we accepted the note. So yeah, just wanted to give you a little update, and I'll see you later or some other day. Enjoy! Okay, I got 30 L in economics and I'm so happy about it now, because at least like one subject is good now. So yeah, just wanted to share my happy news with you, and yeah, we will see how this project goes then. Welcome back, my dear people. Probably the last time you saw me was when I found out I got the maximum points in economy, so I'm still very happy about it. And today is actually my last exam, which is studio project, so I have it in like 40 minutes. In the previous 7 days I haven't slept so much, so last night actually I had 12 hours of sleep. So now I'm actually ready for this exam. We finished some things this morning, last minute group, but yeah, at least we finished it and we printed. So now the only thing that is left is presentation. I hope it will be fine because we are the first ones, so I don't know what they will ask us and how much time will it take, but I will show you everything we have printed there, and also maybe later I will show you everything digital. So that's it for now. I hope it will be fine, and see you later then. Welcome back to my coffee talk. Okay, now I will share with you my post-exam thoughts and just in general some impressions about studying here at UAV. Of course, I will just tell you my own opinion, some things I didn't like, some things I liked, but I will try to tell you the things that also some other people didn't like, just so you have the bigger picture. And by the way, this is not me complaining only because I didn't get maybe the highest marks or anything. It's just some things that I didn't like during the first semester and some things that were bothering me from the beginning. I'm sharing this because a lot of you asked me on Instagram and because I want to just share my experience with you as always. So we can start now from the beginning, since I think I never talked actually about things I didn't like, because I'm always trying to focus only on things that I like here and not to be negative, because I'm so happy to be here and so grateful that I have this opportunity. So even in the beginning I decided that if I'm not going to like something here, that's gonna be university, because other than that I really love my life here, and not just Venice and Italy, but in general I feel very good here. If you are following me from before, you know I finished my bachelor's in Belgrade. I finished 3 years of architecture there, and now I have 2 more here in Venice. So I'm used to working hard and I really love what I'm doing and what I'm studying, and when I have 10 exams in 2 weeks, it's not a problem for me, because usually you do all of these things during semesters. So let's say that exam period for me was never so stressful, because I always had a project done in December. If I have to study something, I already had like 2 tests during the semester, so I already have a vision what will the final exam be like. I mean, it wasn't hard for me because I was constantly working and studying during the semester, and that's how I do things. So the first thing that was weird for me here, I'm going to talk more about project, not theoretical subjects, because we had just only theoretical that I showed you in the previous video, economics and this studio. So for studio, I was really confused when they told us like what you do in exam, that's it, you get all the points there. We never had anything before the exam. Of course we had consultations that were like desk critiques, but it was never about like, okay, let's see what you've done so far. It was always constantly changing, and that made me really nervous. For me, it's so stupid that you are still changing like the concept of your project in December when it's like the end of semester. I mean, it was always like I start in October, so until November we develop this first concept. Then of course later we develop like the form and how does this object look like, and in the end in December we develop plans, sections. So everything is almost done, let's say in December, and that's how it always was. So I'm used to working constantly, but like I see progress, and here I never saw any progress. Like, of course we were doing everything here in group, as I mentioned in my previous videos. Studio is very hard for me to work in group. I mean, I had group works in bachelor's and it was usually 2 or 3 people, like with 4 opinions and 4 people. It is so hard to do a project that is like 2 kilometers long. I will show you now at the end of the video project for those of you who are interested, but it's very hard to just listen to everyone and respect everyone's opinion and put what everyone likes, you know, to find each other in the middle. So actually many groups split and it was like 2 persons and another 2. In the beginning they told us you can't be alone, of course, but like we advise you to be in a group because there's a lot of work. And yes, there was, but I personally think like sometimes you are wasting time by talking with people for so long and convincing someone that something is not going to work and that another thing might work. So I guess in that time you could have done that by yourself already and like made a bigger progress. Like, I don't know, that's my personal opinion, but it's just maybe about me that I prefer doing things on my own. Another thing that I didn't like about this studio is, first of all, you have 3 professors. I mean, this was like urban planning studio. So we had a person for architecture, we had a person for landscape design, and then the 3rd professor was for these movies that we were doing, which also I'm going to tell you about later. I don't feel like they are talking to each other that much. because one person can tell you one thing, like, yeah, this is good in your project, and then another one says that it's not good. So at some point you are confused, like, who am I supposed to listen to, like this man or this man? I wish at that moment they talked about it so that we know what to do. And then another thing is that you see all of them only when it's intensive week, which we had first week, then something in the middle, and then January. So besides that, you see one professor one week, second professor next week, third professor third week, which is extremely stupid. Like, I see architecture professor once a month, because if I do one thing and then in a month, of course my ideas will maybe change and I will do something else. So here we are at the beginning and you are again commenting on some like basic things, so we are going nowhere. It just didn't make sense. We had 2 times a week studio here and back in Belgrade, but back in Belgrade, you know, they take your paper, they drew on it, they tell you what's wrong, maybe they tell you what to do, but in general they make you think of something else. Here it's always presentation, they always look at your presentation, no one takes your paper. But it was just so weird because we were doing urban planning, so of course first thing you want to see is master plan, and then every time we try to develop that master plan, like going into details, going into plans and sections. Okay, sections they were looking at, but plans not once. So for example, I was doing plans, so every time I did like plan of a building or ground floor, first floor, it doesn't matter which one, it was always like go back to the slide with master plan and they comment on that and that's it. So basically we never got critiques for anything else other than master plan. The thing about movies, I wanted to tell you, each group in the beginning got one movie that we had to analyze, and basically we analyzed some scenes and movement, and it was really like fun thing to do, but no sense at all. I still don't see connection between that, what we were doing, and the final exam. My group got a movie Synecdoche in New York. I hope I said it fine, but we all hated it because it was so depressing. I mean, it's a good movie, but really like really depressing. But in the end we had these 4 episodes we had to do. First episode was a bit like a trailer, like what will happen in our project. Then second episode was more of a metropolitan scale, since our project is in Stapleton, Staten Island, New York, so metropolitan scale was like whole New York. And then by using some footage from movies and our metropolitan map that we did and themes that we were analyzing, we had to make this like episode. And then third episode was about urban scale, which was like Staten Island, and then the last episode was based on Stapleton and actually our footage from 3D model, and like, but everything had to be mixed with that movie that we got. I mean, in the end it all looked cool, like every group had these 4 movies. The thing is, we spent so much time doing these movies and so much energy and effort that I think should be transferred into doing plans and sections and everything else. Like, I think we really spent more time on doing these movies than an actual project. So I don't know, it just didn't make sense. But yeah, that was like for that third professor. It's not like I'm disappointed with university. I've heard from many people that this first semester is like, it's not so hard, but it's just like you may not like it. And this was also another challenge because I've never had a location that I can't visit. Everything I did in Belgrade was in Belgrade, so we always had like a tour to go to that location to see what there is, and then to like get inspired by its surroundings or whatever, just to see how like everything works in that neighborhood. And this was a completely new thing because, as I said, it's in New York. Anyways, about the exam, I'll just say now we got 24 points out of 30, which is bad, but like I really don't care in the end. I'm just done with this project. The thing is, I don't hate our project and I really liked it. Yes, of course it could be better, some things could be more detailed, we should have done more stuff. I think that even if we had like another week or 2, it wouldn't change so much our grade, because it's not even about us and our work. I know how much I worked, so I'm not like disappointed in myself or whatever. The whole thing yesterday was so weird. Firstly, they told us we will have presentation, and then when they saw how many people there are, they just decided not to let us present. I mean, okay, we didn't have presentation, they kind of know our project, but since the last critiques we changed a lot. So I think that if we all presented, maybe it would actually raise our marks. I just want to say, like, everyone got really bad marks. I don't know what happened. The highest mark was 28. How can you not give maximum to someone? Isn't it supposed to be like, okay, you have the best group and then you compare everyone else to them? One group even failed. I didn't see their project, but like I didn't think that anyone would really fail, so they were like, okay, see you in June. One group, for example, got a comment like, this project is perfect, but like they got 27. Or for example, one professor told us, this is not enough work for 4 people. I don't know how can they expect that 4 people are actually all of them working day and night. Okay, that is perfect scenario that never happens in real life. This whole thing was just not a nice experience. Even in the first week when we didn't know each other, like we didn't know what's the project about, we didn't know anything. It was like second day they give you some deadlines like do this and you have 2 hours. In 2 hours I can't even make a conversation with my group like what is our idea. So we always had this like extemporas, how they called them. Anyways, it was just stressful for no reason. So yeah, I can't say that I really liked this first semester. Other subjects, fine, like whatever. But this studio, I mean, for me, studio is the subject that takes up a lot of time and I love working on it. And when I know what I'm doing, it's really like, it makes me happy to do it, so that's why I'm actually studying this. But sometimes there's just miscommunication within a group or with professors and it just can be bad. So I'm not saying that IUAV in general is bad. I think I will share with you my impressions when I finish it completely, but I guess like first semester is always the hardest. Even when I finished first semester of my bachelor's, it was somehow weird. When I finished it, it started to feel good. University and maybe some bad grades can really kill my vibe of living in Italy, because this is just the best thing ever. So I will try my best to be better in the next semester, and of course we're not giving up. Like, this was just one bad thing on the way that had to happen for some reason. I will now show you the project for those of you who are curious to see it, and if you're not, then I'll see you in my next video. Okay, so from what I've heard, today was even worse with grades. Amazing! And I also wanted to say, because I think I forgot to say that, some of these things that we showed now on exam were good before exam. Like the last time we had critiques, they said, yes, it's good, and now the comment was, it's sufficient. How can it be good and then like not good the next time when you see it? So like, you may like it, you may not like it, but I will just show you now this. I wanted to film actually yesterday everyone's work so that you can see it, but I couldn't actually because we were just rushing to put all of our panels there, and then they already started, so I couldn't just go around and film. And then in the middle of their speech they just told us to start taking them off, so I couldn't do that even after exam. So I'm sorry that you didn't see other people's work, but I will show you now our project for those of you who are interested. It was 4 of us in a group, so you can see like it's not just my work. As I mentioned earlier, our location was in Stapleton, Staten Island in New York. So here you can see this first metropolitan map where we show the whole New York. If you remember, I told you about these 3 maps: metropolitan, urban, and neighborhood scale maps. So basically in every one we had to analyze different topics, and metropolitan map is mainly showing our transportation system. We analyzed roads, where is train line, where are primary, secondary roads, but also ferry lines, because ferries were important thing for our project. So these in white are existing ferry lines, and these dotted blue lines are actually our proposed lines. So this here is Stapleton, where our project is. Then we have urban scale map, where we show the whole Staten Staten Island, and here we mainly tried to find some functions that we will put later in our project. So we have a sports center, co-working space, skate park, cultural center, youth center, theater and scientific center, and that way we would connect Stapleton with other parts of Staten Island. Also we analyzed wetlands, green areas and some other things that were important for our project. And the last one is neighborhood map. Here is our waterfront, Stapleton waterfront that was our project, and in this map we analyzed building typology. We showed actually where is every residential building, where is educational, commercial, cultural, and this way we found out that actually cultural building is only this one. So that is one of the reasons why we wanted to make a cultural center on the waterfront. Now finally the concept of our project. We decided to name our project Nuclei, which is the name for something that is the most important part of an object. Actually nucleus is the center, which is then connected to our main concept because we wanted to make these three centers on location, and the main connection between waterfront and the rest of Stapleton was actually this transportation structure between ferry and train stop. This is our master plan, and we have these three clusters, as I said, like three centers that we made. We have this main one in the center, and then northern and southern one that are not less important, but maybe we can say that are less commercial. Here we have sports center, co-working. I can zoom in a bit if you want to see some things clearer, but this here is our skate park. So as I told you, this is a building that is connected to that, like a little sports center. Then we also have this pier, and here we have restaurant and exhibition area that is connected to exhibition area in this main building. Also up and down we have these wetlands that are more natural, not so artificial maybe as our buildings here. When you look at our project like this, it is attractive, and I agree that maybe we should have done more details and that we should have gone more deeply into it. But as I said, whenever we had critiques, they were looking only at this master plan, not anything else. That's why maybe other things were not so good. Here you can see actually axonometry in 3D, and maybe some things will be clearer now to you. And down there we have some close-ups. This is the main cluster, as I told you. Here, this in the middle. Then we have this train station and the pier that is also filled with green, as you could see in the previous slide. We have these two 3D views that are also from our model. Here we have few sections from our site. We have a section from each cluster, and of course through our train station and ferry terminal. Then we did some close-ups of main cluster. Up and down are some inspiration for materials we use. So here you can see this is actually our inspiration for this skate park. This would be like a little forest. Then we have these things in the middle that are actually sitting areas with plants inside, and they are surrounded with this white gravel. So basically in the main cluster we have these four buildings. One, as I told you, is connected to the skate park. This building is co-working space. This building is our auditorium that I will tell you more about later, and this is our housing. So this is only ground floor. Here we showed first floor and roofs. So basically each roof has some greenery up there. On housing we wanted to put some urban gardening, and auditorium roof is used for walking and just observing from this spot. This is the plan view of our auditorium. Actually it's a cultural center, so you can see that there are some other functions such as library, exhibition room. This is area for administration. Then we have multi-purpose hall, workshop, rehearsal hall, and in the middle is our auditorium. So because that is our main building, it's the only one that has this close up. Then we have also section of auditorium and elevation. Here for section we needed to do some details. I did the detail of entrance and the roof, and basically this is the inside of auditorium. They didn't look so much into it, so I don't know, I put so much effort in it for nothing. Then we have elevation. We decided that the facade will be wooden, and in front we have like mini botanical garden, and then few more things for landscape. So for example, this is this rocky middle pond. You can see the plan view and section, and also some inspiration up here that we used for making this. Here we showed our wetlands and urban beach that we have in our project. project, basically the same, what plants can grow and what animals can live there. And also we have some things from the main square that I already showed you. This is the sitting area with plants inside, and here we have the stairs near the water. A lot of things should have been done a bit better, and of course more. Okay, so that is it for this video. I think it lasts long enough, and I want to finish this video with these exams and just to start tomorrow new video with new content. I'm actually going out of Venice, so I hope you will like my next video. And I know that a lot of you really wanted some impressions, how it is here, what are we doing, because I always used to show you my previous project, and some of you have already asked me when will I do this exam period in video. So here it is. I hope you're not disappointed. As I said, I hope next semester will be more fun to show, because now I didn't have so much even to show you. It was just 3 subjects, and I think next semester we will have 5. And another interesting thing for the end is that we got free classes of Italian from our university. So I'm starting in a few days my Italian classes, and hopefully I will be able to talk after them. That's it so far. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and thank you so much for being here with me through these hard times. It wasn't so hard, it was just exhausting. But now it's time to relax and enjoy for the next 3 days, and then here we go again. I'm sending you so much love from Venice, and I will see you soon. Bye!